got before, or is it brand new?
Yeah, somebody didn't pick theirs up.
80% of those plans are gone.
Oh, that ain't mine then.
Because when I finished watering last year.
What do you mean as before?
I picked mine up. That's the same. as
When
the
you
one-
were here Friday, right?
When I was here Friday, yeah.
Yeah, that's the same one.
Yeah.
Did
So I
you
don't
get
know what that
yours?
is.
Yeah, Karen picked it up.
For you?
These,
Who didn't get theirs?
I got, right, that,
So that's somebody's, I don't know.
I don't know, I got mine.
Maybe you made it extra.
You never know. It's crazy right now. Okay.
All right. 6 o'clock, let's start the meeting. Let's start, we're gonna do the quarterly review, so we don't need to do another meeting. So the quarterly review is in your packet. This. I'll give you a chance to look through it. Has anybody got any questions? Would be my next.
The only one I had Dave write off was the 13,000, being negative 13,000 in the electrician. Is that because we billed for him?
That's because, and we do this all the time.
Right.
It's because he bills
Right,
and then he gets paid out of what he bills for.
right. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me, so.
No.
I didn't either. I was
Everything
in my
was pretty
shop
good.
this afternoon looking at those.
Was there a change, Jeanette, to the road budget?
No.
Or am I not reading something?
That's for the upcoming budget. That was the upcoming budget. They mentioned that, but it's, no.
Yeah, we're just looking at the quarterly
The
review right
quarter,
now.
okay.
Nobody has any questions?
Mm-mm, no,
We don't have to have a motion or anything on this.
no. Okay,
We're happy with it.
Okay, good.
thank you, Jeanette.
All right,
You're
now we're gonna have Jeanette tell us what we're doing now.
Okay. Where's my notes? All right, salaries and benefits, which are on pages 1 to 8. In April of 23, we did that classification compensation study. It's sent out on, you okay, Dave?
Hearing aid fell out. It was
You
squealing
good?
in my ear.
Okay, so that set us on a path to do step increases and to keep things going forward for the future for a while. The COLA rate's at 3.5%. There has been a need has been identified that we need a director of facilities and recreational services.
So you said that the percentage is 3.5%?
3.5% for COLA plus steps for those who aren't on the top tier yet. So I handed out in your packets the ideas of what we plan on having that person do. And there's been several issues with the town assets, such as unsafe structures due to lack of maintenance, et cetera. There's also been established a need for someone to address immediate issues, such as last Wednesday, received a phone call that the gate was down on the ground at Kennebuck Pond. Those
Oh, no.
kind of things. Yeah, it's like a once a month occurrence.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Plus monthly maintenance issues. We had an inspection with our insurance company, and one of the things they want done is for the fire extinguishers to be kind of tipped every month, and then the gauge is read, and then a signature. So that's throughout the town. So that would be us and the transfer station. Somebody would need to do that as well. Those are just some ideas of what needs to be done that isn't being tackled. The annual fire alarm inspection hasn't been tackled. I called last year and got it done. But there's nobody in charge of that. So that's in here as a new position.
Yeah, are we gonna be eliminating any positions because of this?
No,
I mean, because I noticed, I kind of went through here,
Mhm.
and it looks to me like a lot of what's being done here is some of it, at least, some of it, is being done by the Parks and Recs person that gets, I don't know, pay them $4,000 or something.
no, it's not being done there.
Is the Parks and Rec person a paid position?
Yes.
But I thought they did things like set up and coordinate stuff that the, different stuff. If you read through here, it looked to me like there was a lot of liaison with Parks and Rec Committee, coordinate scheduling field use. None of that's done by the Parks and Rec person.
So the field use used to be done by, was done by the Parks and Rec. And the liaison to the Parks and Rec Committee is done by Parks and Rec. So that would be another person actually doing that.
That's what I'm saying, now we're gonna have two people do it.
We purchased MyRec. So we're building into MyRec the field usage ability. So people can go online and they can sign up for the field use, to do the field use. Yeah, those were just some
Yeah, I
ideas we
mean,
started jotting
If
down.
you go through, take a look at
I don't have that
event
sheet in there.
schedules,
It was in your,
it looked like a lot of stuff in here is
Not
with the
mine.
Park and Rec person. I guess what I'd like to know is, with this job here, what is gonna be left for the Park and Rec people to do? The person who gets paid to do the Park and Rec.
typically, the person who gets paid to do the Parks and Rec does the programming.
Well, that's what part of that is in here, it looks like.
Yes, but not the 9,000. That's what they use right now is the 9,000. So 1,000 was implemented for other usages. We also took over the Pines rentals this year from the Y.
What's the anticipated salary?
68,000. It's on the bottom of page
Oh, okay.
1.
Plus $52,000 for transportation, plus $1,000 in the rec program for him.
And 30,000 for,
Right, so we're,
Was
Trying to get your
$774,000.
copy.
Yeah, I'm looking to see maybe it's in my other one and I missed it. I'm
Yeah.
looking, sorry. Which one?
yeah, this is,
Yeah,
Is this
maybe,
your
maybe,
packet?
maybe it is.
yeah, there you go.
Maybe that's what happened to mine. Thank you, Jeanette.
Question, are we gonna vote on just the salary, or are we gonna vote on salaries and benefits as a single line item?
Salaries and benefits are one more article. Okay?
is this included in the warrant article for the new position, or is this a separate article?
It would be included in the salaries and benefits.
It's gonna be included in the total of the article. We won't be getting to vote on this particular item. It's the same as it always is. They can, there's a big list here, but you're voting on one number.
Right.
And then the select board can put that number wherever they want.
Okay, so there's some other changes there as well. A need has been established in the assessors department. She's asking for a couple of days a week for somebody to help out. We've looked for somebody for the last 3 years to contract with. There just isn't anyone. We've had an
Did
RFP.
you check that I asked you to do?
I started looking around. I didn't get to make phone
Because
calls.
my recommendation was, could we get a temp agency? Because it looks like this job is not gonna be that complicated. We could probably pick a
Can-
temp up and have them do it. Yes,
You're talking for which position?
for the assessor position. That's the one
I
we're
think,
talking about now.
right, yeah, so
I didn't get to
wanted,
finish, but that's okay.
so why don't you finish, Ray? I was
Okay.
gonna have
Okay.
a,
So, we had an RFP out there. We issued it out 3 times for the cost tables. We got no hits. until the last time we got one hit. Within the RFP, there was a permit catch-up that we asked to be done as well. And that's going out, doing the measuring, et cetera. They quoted us that at 25,000. I don't know how many of you watched the meeting with the select board, but we threw a bunch of ideas out onto the table. Do the 25 this year, maybe look for somebody part-time next year. They didn't really want to do that. We threw out a part-time position. We threw out making the CEO admin assist full-time and with a couple days dedicated to the assessor's office. Why that? Because we have room for growth and we have room for consistency and succession for both departments. In the past, I've been here since 2019 and we've had a revolving door there. This would allow somebody to be there to say, this is where we left off. This is what I can help with. This is how we move on. This is how we keep going. The other thing is the CEO is also looking for an assistant CEO. So when she's out doing some of the bigger issues, somebody needs an LPI inspection on the dot, that person can go do
Is
that.
that on top of the current clerk? We have a
Right,
part-time
so
clerk.
I
So the
just said,
assistant CEO would
making
be on
that
top of that?
position
Oh, making that position,
full-time and looking into the future of making an assistant CEO. In your current
in
budget,
addition to that position?
no, that position would work
To
to
become a full-time assistant CEO? And then what would you do with the
slash
assessor?
assessing.
Oh, slash, okay.
Yes. But they need to be trained, Dave. So one of the things we have in this budget is a CEO for when she's out on vacation.
Well,
We
don't we
need-
use other towns at that point?
We do, but the problem is the towns that we've used in the past, one is brand new, and the other one, I don't think they've replaced them yet.
I'm just thinking of towns like Waterboro, which are much larger towns than ours are. There's one CEO and there's one admin.
Mhm.
And they seem to get everything done. And and I'm not discrediting anybody, but our CEO is new to being the CEO. She's learning.
Correct.
So, and I understand that. But she's had a year, 2 years to ramp up. I mean, how many permits is she handling every month or year?
So when our former CEO left, I jumped in and did all of our LPI information so that I could get it off to the state. There was approximately 100 permits for a year, and that was just LPI.
Okay.
So it's your subsurface wastewater
And those are
and your plumbing.
sending to the state.
So, it's up to you guys. This is a need that's been met, that we've recognized. The assessor has been asking for help time and time again. We've tried to get help. There's no professional help out there. We can't contract with somebody. We need to train somebody to do it. We need a dedicated person to do that. And those two positions fit together.
So basically you'd have coverage between the CEO's office and the assessor's office. Whoever that kind of almost middle ground person is can cover in the CEO office, whether she's there or not. And then assessor, if she needs help or she's out on vacation or help catch up because we're getting slammed on permits, they're going to be able to be cross-trained in both of those areas.
Correct.
And then with the goal of making sure we don't run into the issues we've run into before, where people have to go to Sanford for permits, or you're waiting in line with the other people in the other town that are waiting in line, because they're not going to bump us ahead of them.
Correct.
All right.
Can I just make some unfortunate comments?
As long as they're not employee
No, they're
driven.
not employee related at all, but it seems like a massive duplication of efforts. If I apply for a building permit for my house at 232 Alewife Road and say I'm gonna build a 20-foot by 20-foot deck, I come in and I apply for my permit, lay out my plans, get my permit, I build the deck. The building inspector, the CEO comes out, measures it, says, yep, you built a 20 by 20-foot deck, right according to your plans. Perfect, approved. So now you're telling me that then the assessor has to come out and remeasure my 20-foot by 20-foot deck to enter it into a computer system so I get taxed on the 20 by 20-foot deck.
Mhm.
If I understand this correctly, so that's a duplication of effort.
That is my understanding, and I'm not sure, have you reached out to the assessor to ask her why that needs to be
I
done?
have not.
Because I know enough about assessing.
Yeah.
But I don't do that job either.
Well, I can tell you what used to happen, and probably one of the reasons that it doesn't happen now is because the assessor's behind. When there was a final inspection, the assessor went with the CEO and the both of them did it. Which was also, to me, was kind of a waste, because if a town employee measures your deck and agrees it's 20 by 20, that information should go to the assessor's office, and the assessor should say, okay, it's a 20 by 20 deck and I'm gonna tax you X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
Now, why hasn't this been done? Well, it started a while ago. There was an issue back a while ago, and I won't mention any employees, but there was an issue a while ago that the assessor got really backlogged. And has never caught up. And I can understand, and then she gets further and further backlogged. And something needs to be done. Well, to me, it ought to be the CEO measured it, take that and put it in. So we need
I
somebody to record what the CEO has approved. Now,
I want to
I
be
checked
careful,
the-
Dave. I want to be careful. The town manager, it is her responsibility for the what and the who.
I understand all that.
I don't want to be dictating
What I'm just
that,
saying is,
okay?
it makes no sense to be sending two town employees out twice to do the same thing.
Right.
Now,
Well-
if the town manager thinks that's a good idea, well, then, okay, she can do it, but I'm just saying it makes no sense to me.
Well,
Now,
her
the
job-
other issue is, we've got a price from a contractor who's willing to do, I think it's 260 permits
approximately, yes.
for $25,000. That's $100 each. I'll do them for $100 each.
It doesn't take 2 hours, 3 hours worth of
I'm
work.
just saying, it don't take,
So
that's what the contractor wants. So I think that's probably not a good idea.
just,
And I think that the select board already agrees that it's not a good idea.
well, I think just a quick Google and like an assessor, what it says. And I mean, I think we are kind of clear over how it was, but it says right here, an assessor determines the appropriate value of an asset or property, often for the purposes of taxation. That's not the CEO's job.
Nobody,
So-
no, it's not.
But what I'm saying is the CEO might not see what an assessor says, but I think we all can know how we feel about it. So I guess I'd like to move to a vote if we can. I don't know if we make a motion or if we're just moving
I'd like to
to.
make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we reduce the bottom line of the total of benefits and salaries by $101,343.
And what would that encompass?
That encompasses $8,999 out of salaries and $93,244 out of salaries, $93,244 out of salaries, and $8,099 out of benefits.
And for what positions?
No position.
yeah,
You can't-
but-
you can't-
Okay,
you can't-
so are you specifying to, so I
I'm
want to,
specifying amount out of what they said the other night was their plan.
so
$1
which
million, $1 million,
plan for,
Let's let one person talk at a time.
their plan for the total was $1,180,000, something like that. So I reduced that.
Can I
By-
have
by-
that number again?
Pardon?
What number are you saying?
I'm reducing that figure. I'm reducing the salaries by $93,244, reducing the benefits by $8,088, for a total of $1,134,
8,088,
8099, excuse me,
8,
8099.
8,099?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't, usually
not-
9,
And the
I'm not
9,000, okay, the 9,300, 93,244 comes out of the total of 89,000, 893,244. I'm changing that to $800,000 from what they have for a figure.
okay, so for the purpose of discussion only, well, we need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, for the purpose of discussion, can you tell me where the 93,000 came from?
Yeah,
Yeah.
93,000 came off their figure for if you look at page 5,
So you're
if you look at page,
assuming an across the board
I'm taking across the board, 90,
percentage reduction.
no percentage, just across the board. I'm changing the 893,244 to 800,000 even.
Right, but how do we come to that 93,000?
Right.
by a
Yeah,
percentage
what's
reduction
equaling?
in
Let
hourly
me
rate?
explain why we're gonna need to know that, because if we disagree with the select board and the select board sticks with that number.
Yep.
It's gonna go to the town meeting.
Yep.
And somebody's gonna have to stand up for the budget committee and explain why we took that money out.
If you listen to the workshop the other night, they said that this figure here, that's in the payroll, is a plan. It isn't anything, and the figures they've come up with to get to this figure, okay, for observation purposes only, or being able to look. If those figures are not cut, they can change any of those figures they want. So I'm not doing a figure or doing away with a person or doing away with something. I just came up with $800,000.
As a new.
I have a question or discussion.
Okay, yeah.
I'm trying to
What does that
under,
come out
She
at
gets it.
for the
I'm-
number of employees by percentage? You said there was a 3.5% COLA increase across the board. So-
Hey, I'm sorry, Sue, I'm trying to add this up for you
Yeah,
guys.
let,
so
I'm sorry, Sue.
I just want to understand, so from what I'm hearing then, so it'd be the potential of the position for someone to run either buildings or grounds or parks and rec, that I'd pitch a decision there, and then turning the assistant in the CEO's office to a full-time position so it can accommodate the assessor who needs help. These are the numbers that we're kind of looking at removing from here, understanding that in not even a given year, there was 121 complaints, a majority of them about Kennebunk Pond. That's lumped on to the town manager. And the assessor's been asking for help for 2 years. And we tried to get Eagle View, which I'm pretty sure was shot down by the voters, which 14 grand would have covered it. But there was a public meeting and everyone shot it down. I would have been down with Eagle, but no one wanted it. But that was $14,000 and we wouldn't be where we are. So is that my understanding though, is that we want to go back to the public and ask them for Eagle View again? Because that was a hot
what's an
topic.
Eagle View?
That was the drone
Oh,
photos.
no, I don't think
Well,
anybody
because
wants to
that's-
even
that
talk
was-
about Eagle View.
That's what
And-
was asked for help.
And what's your, and.
So I'm trying to understand that.
yeah,
So
let
we
me
don't want to give help in the way,
Okay.
in either way she wants it. We don't want to give help.
The
Then-
Eagle View is not this. The Eagle View is not
correct.
gonna go
Correct.
into the records
No.
and change them. So the Eagle
Correct.
View,
It was going to eliminate her going out.
what the Eagle View
Oh, I know what
would
it,
have done is what our reevaluator should have done when he did it the last time he did it.
many moons ago.
Okay, now,
I think we still need to be careful.
Evaluation here in the future, and when we pay for that reevaluation, hopefully, the contractor that we get will do their job, and we won't need the Eagle View.
But there's no guarantees on that. But okay, I guess
Yes, there is, because
everyone,
when you write the contract to do the reval, that's part of what you're supposed
so
to
look
do.
at the
They're
eval we
supposed to
got
go
last
to
time.
every property and measure every property. They were supposed to do it last time, but they didn't.
Correct. Because they
So
put,
if somebody is out there enforcing the contract, The
But
next
who's-
one will do it.
Who's that gonna be if she is already overwhelmed in her
Well,
office?
it should have
Okay,
been
I'm
the
just
same
gonna- I think-
person that should have
I
done it
think
the
we're
last
good.
time, and that would have been the assessor.
If you go up, look
I
at
disagree
it-
on that, but I think everyone's pretty set in how they feel
If
about
you sit down
this.
and figure out the difference between every single one of these figures for employees, for the raise on them, it comes out to be 8.5% each and every one of them.
We're way behind in town. We need a lot of help. You know, it's like lumping
I didn't get it- I didn't
121
get a
calls
raise.
on one person
No, we
is,
got-
I didn't get a raise, I got
2.3.
2.5%.
so did I. So did I.
No.
I get the same thing.
2.3. So,
I got 64
I think everyone's
bucks.
ready to, I don't understand how we got to the figures, but
I'm a
I'll,
lucky one.
I'm not for,
Yeah, and
I'm not for the motion anyway, so.
unfortunately, we
Yeah.
cannot tell the select board how to set positions up.
Right,
That's up to them.
correct.
that's right, that's,
All we can do is vote for or against the budget.
that's why I
Mhm.
gave eight
Yep.
figures.
Well, we'll vote against.
I watched the meeting the other night, and there was some very good discussion at that meeting. The net result is yet to be seen, but I think there was some very good discussion at the meeting. But that's not our job.
That's why I stated that this is a plan.
Yes, I understand.
Right.
I noticed that there's, I know Kohler's 3.5, but the increase in salaries for a number of positions is over 8%. Is that
That's
to
with the
catch
step,
up?
Step.
Is that,
that's with the step.
contract?
No, that's the step increase. They've got,
So,
they put in, I don't know, 2 years ago? When did they start this step thing?
we did it,
last year,
after April of 2023,
Okay, so
which
after
is when
that,
we did the
now each
compensation
position
study.
is entitled to a step increase as well as cost of
I
living.
understand that, I'm just
Unless
asking
you're on-
specifically about
Yeah,
On the top
this
step,
budget.
unless you're on the top step.
So
and what
anybody,
happens if you're on the top step, that's where you stay?
That's where you stay, you just get COLA.
Mhm.
so anyone that has an increase of 8% or more, that's.
Well, they probably got 3.5
Step plus the
for
COLA.
the regular COLA, and they
Plus
got
COLA.
4.5 or whatever it
Okay,
was.
thank you.
And COLA was figured on on this year's salary, not
Right.
on the salary with the step
Right.
increase.
But Dave, I agree with you that it is the select board's job to make these decisions, and I did listen to their discussions too, and I thought they made a lot of sense. As painful as it is, I don't want to see my taxes go up either. But I see sense in what they're trying to do to bring the town around, so we don't keep
Which COLA
losing things.
are you using? Jeanette?
So the state,
3.5%, she said.
No, the actual, like, our social securities are based.
Yeah,
on-
but they base theirs on whatever they want to.
Right, and that's what I'm curious.
no, that's not
No.
what they did.
Okay, what did they do?
Because your minimum wage, so here's the thing, minimum wage in the state of Maine has increased, and I gave it to you guys all last year, has increased dramatically. It's almost twice what it was 7 years
Yeah.
ago.
It's crazy.
The increase in the law, in the new law, it says minimum wage will go up per COLA every single year with no end in sight.
For COLA, and that's what her question was, what COLA?
Which COLA
Which
are you
COLA are
looking
you
at? 'Cause there's-
Can I
Yes, yes. but-
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it says it will go up by COLA every single year. In order to remain competitive, if you have minimum wage going like this, and it's okay to come in and say COLA's only gonna be 1%. Well, you're like this. So eventually, when you get down here, you're gonna have to throw a ton of money at salaries just to get people to stay or to get in the door. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
No.
So the COLA, okay, but does it make sense what I'm saying?
No,
And
because
whether you
minimum
like it
wage
or
is
not,
much now.
whether you like it or not,
How much
does
is
it make
now?
sense?
Okay,
1465.
1460. How many people are making 1465 working for the town? How many?
There's no one making 1465.
So what is the lowest salary in the town? The lowest hourly wage?
Transfer station.
And how much is that?
$21.
It's what's on the steps. I don't know.
So,
if
I
have
mean, there's nobody that's making minimum wage, so.
So-
The concept that it's
Right.
doing this is.
That concept doesn't apply.
Doesn't apply.
So what COLA was I gave them, minimum wage went up 3.5%.
So that's what
December
you
3rd.
assumed is COLA?
December 31st to January 1st. I also gave them the social security rates. I gave them the COLA, I gave them the cost of inflation
Who,
for the state of Maine,
them, who's them?
your select board.
Okay, that's, I
And
see
they
what you
chose from there where they wanted to go.
Okay, so the select board.
So they had all of that information.
And they went with 3.5.
Yes, they did.
And explain again what the 3.5 is, because the social security is based on a federal calculation. What was the 3.5 based on?
The
Different.
three and a,
Go ahead.
3.5 is minimum wage, December 31st, minimum wage, January 1st. Whatever that
So
law
that's-
says
that
the
one.
COLA is, because I know there's different models. That's what we used for the 3.5%. Because minimum
Basically,
wage
she's
went
trying
up.
to we're following minimum wage.
Right, we're following minimum wage, we're not following COLA.
Correct.
No, COLA's,
Well, they're calling it a
There-
COLA. You can
so
call it a
there's-
COLA.
On the CPI index, there are several different models.
Right.
And it depends on which model they're modeling after.
Right, and basically the
So-
one that social security goes after are the same positions that typically are within the town hall. So their administration, their, I don't know, I can't even remember tonight the real name of it for the CPI, but
So
it's
I'm,
basically the same positions that are within this office space.
can I just call a point over real quick? I really want to be careful if employees are watching this, that we're talking about salaries and raises, and I think we should have this discussion at a joint meeting if we have issues with the COLA or
No,
things
and
that
I'm
they.
not disagreeing that.
And
our
I just think we need to be
employees
careful because they are watching, and I think that this is a great discussion to have at the joint meeting with the select board to talk about the COLA and what they chose. And they'll be able to explain to us why they chose that versus having a discussion here where they're not here to respond and Jeanette's following the will of the select board. So I don't want to put you in that position and I don't want people to feel uncomfortable watching this. That's just
it's
how
not-
I'm feeling. I don't like that.
it's not my budget. It's the select board's budget. I provide the select board with as much information as I possibly can. I gave them the SSI number. I gave them the difference that was increased for minimum wage. I pulled the inflation rates for January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So they had all that information, and I can't sit here and argue with you about what the correct COLA rate is.
And
That
I'm
was
not trying
their
to argue with
decision.
you.
We're not.
And
blaming
we're
you,
trying-
Jeanette.
I know,
We're
I
not
know,
gonna
I
argue
just,
with you,
why-
Jeanette. You just happen to be sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
See
trying
how
to
you act.
understand, Jeanette,
yeah,
how we got to 3.5 as opposed to 2.3, as opposed to whatever the inflation rate one worked out to.
I think,
That's-
It
yeah.
doesn't- it
so the
doesn't-
select board
town-
chose the
select board
3.5.
Gets to choose what they want to use. When I was on the select board, we chose what the COLA was gonna be.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that the select board gave it. It's not tied by anything.
Yeah.
There are no rules that say that the select board has to use the cost of living index or whatever else. The select board picks what they want.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it
That's the way
goes
it
back
works.
to Ken's.
But we don't have to agree with it.
No, we don't have to agree with it, and it goes back to Ken's reduction by 93,000.
Was
Jeanette,
that, was
how
that
many-
the total? I still don't have the total.
Okay.
They keep bouncing around.
If we were to reduce the overall salary budget of 893,244 by 93,000, how many employees does that affect, and how does it change the COLA that the board has selected?
I don't think that's anything we can know because we don't choose
So is-
positions.
Jeanette
I-
would not know the answer to that question. She would not know the answer to that question.
I
'cause That
would.
would be up to the select.
Jeanette,
So I would,
Jeanette,
yeah.
that figure is, if you take your payroll figure of 893,240,
What's your total?
244?
and you make it 800,000, that's where that 93 comes from.
Oh, okay.
See,
Yeah,
I see what you did.
All right,
And then benefits. What were you saying, Ken?
that was 8,000.
8099.
Where, yeah, where's that one come from?
I got 88 over
I
here.
have 808.
It's
He
809.
had 8099 is what he
Okay.
chose, but I don't know where it came from.
so for benefits total, we're minusing out what is the proposed?
Take out 8099 from benefits.
From benefit,
80, no, that's wrong.
8099 from the total benefits line. That's what he's saying.
08099. That can't be right.
So
My
29,
reason for asking that question.
93,000
Yeah.
plus 8099. So that'd be a reduction of 101,099 to your salaries and benefits.
I believe you said 93,244. Is that correct, Ken?
No, you have to add the two together.
Gotta add the two together.
He was doing what?
She said 93,000. It was 93,244.
Oh, 93,244, yeah.
What is the exact number?
93,000.
Well, I got 101,343.
Yes,
the one
that's
he-
the number, that's the number I had.
That's the number he had.
101 what?
101,343.
If you take,
Don't ask me where it comes from.
I see
All right.
what Ken did.
Karen has a question.
No, let her work through whatever she's
Oh.
going to do first.
Oh.
Goes 08826. Yes, Karen.
I just had a question on salaries for town clerk, tax collector. That seems to be a 43% increase.
yeah, but look at that right here.
Yeah, I know, I'm trying to.
So-
It's all
Yeah,
explained right there.
I don't get it. I don't understand the explanation.
If you take,
Okay, I'm happy to give that to you.
Thank you.
So Sue's retiring December 31st. We're all sad to see that happen. So we have built in a overlap. Sue's gonna be leaving, somebody's gonna be coming in. She's gonna be training for, I think we built an overlap for about 6 months for training purposes and hiring. It is less than that.
Hmm.
I think we figured September. So we built that overlap. It's not up for one person, 43%. It's up to fill in that overlap time.
Okay, Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have one other.
Yeah.
Observation. When I look at the Director of Facilities and Recreational Services job, I count like 19 bullet points that I believe are done by Parks and Rec. You know,
Oh,
on
thank
the
you.
tails of what Dave was saying. So, and I'm not saying we don't need a position, but it seems to me like there's an awful lot of redundancy there. And I think that, either we get rid of the Parks and Rec department, I don't know if that's the goal, or streamline this position a little bit more. So that's just an observation.
And I
Thank
agree,
you.
that's what I saw.
Thank
I
you.
just didn't sit there and add up the ones that I added up. But yeah, that's the issue. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't need somebody to do some of this work. I just don't like to see us hiring two people to do the same thing. And it looks to me like this person's gonna end up being basically the Parks and Recs person, at least part-time.
but on the second, oh, sorry, raise my hand.
Okay, you don't have to raise your hand.
All right.
You only raise your hand when
But,
everybody's trying to
well,
talk about it.
okay, sorry, I'm trying to be polite. But when you get in here, I mean, there's capital projects, there's,
Yes.
you know,
that's why I said-
there's lots of things in here that are more than just Parks and Rec. This is a heck of a lot more than,
Correct. That's why I
like,
said it's
you
just
look at the,
part-time.
you look at the sumac and like the Japanese not, that's like that's an 80-hour week job to get rid of
Right.
that. The Japanese knot and sumac and the issues. I mean, have you ever looked at the plan to get rid of Japanese knot down at the park? Holy
I feel
mackerel.
like somebody
Um,
found this
We need,
online somewhere for a standard Parks and Rec.
no, because we
No,
have this
what it
issue
was-
down
I
at the
would-
park. This is something
May
we
I
talked
please
about.
clarify that?
Yep.
Throughout the year, we've been taking notes
Yeah.
on things that have happened or things that need to be
Mhm.
done. that aren't currently getting done. We didn't get that from any Parks and Rec.
I had
on-
Jeanette, you guys
well,
probably
job
didn't see
description.
it. Jeanette
I mean,
forwarded
the word
you.
recreational services has been added to this, but a director of facilities generally has people under them. So how many people do we plan to hire in the future to go along with this position?
At this point, none.
But I think, yeah,
At this point, none.
But
Well,
all of
I'm
the-
not gonna be
in
here
20
years,
years,
Dave.
you know,
I can't
but
make
No,
that
I'm
you know, but
prediction.
is it also the, you know, again, is it the, I don't know if this is the right. It's almost like a cross between Parks and Rec and Buildings and Ground, kind of where you have someone here full time to take care of all those issues
Yeah,
that are coming up. Is that the goal?
yes.
But
all
the
right.
stuff that's in here under Parks and Recs, it's not stuff that has not been done.
There's
Parks
been
and
stuff
Rec
Right.
is
Yeah,
doing
but
this
Parks
stuff.
and Rec is doing it.
Correct.
Some of that
Maybe not
stuff
to the
can't be done.
extent that it's gonna be done.
Mhm.
And the Parks and Rec person is not a full-time or part-time.
Exactly, I was just gonna say
She's
that, Dave.
Right,
she's
that's
still
what I'm
volunteer
saying
to an
is
extent.
This person now is gonna be 37 and a half hours a week.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff in here that person's gonna be able to do. And
They don't have. the
I
money
just
for
don't
it.
see why we're gonna have a Park and Rec person also who's gonna be doing just what this person.
But I think that's a good question for the meeting. I think that's
Well,
a good
yeah,
question for the
it's-
meeting.
yeah.
Or they're going to be working under this director of,
Well, we don't know that yet either.
So I'm gonna
The-
write that
the
question down.
chairman
Good
of
question,
committee
Dave.
Works under the town manager.
right, but a director heads basically the Parks and Rec people.
But
I
heads
don't
of
know how- I don't
departments-
know how that's gonna work out.
No, I
Well,
don't either, but
We haven't been
typically-
told.
Good question
Typically,
for,
All I know is
director
there
would be-
appears to be
would
a,
be-
Right.
a duplication of.
well, I think it's a good question
Yeah.
good question to ask. So
Yeah,
is
and
everyone
that's
kind of
gonna be
ready
something
to,
That we'll talk about
at our joint, is
I
everyone,
also question, where are the funds coming from for all of these wonderful plans that we
We're
have?
coming up on that one. That's coming.
is,
Because, I mean, we're talking about capital projects.
are we
We're
finishing
talking about.
Let's finish
Ben-
up
benefit-
on-
can we
on-
finish
on-
benefits?
On salaries first.
salaries and benefits?
We have a motion on the floor and a second. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? 3, 4. All opposed? 2, 4 to 2.
So your motion would be $1,088,260, one, 1,088,266.
Yes.
Of course it's
What?
yes, Ken.
No, I don't know what that, I thought it was 101,343.
That's the
what-
amount
that's
that you're
deducted.
cutting.
That's
Oh,
what-
oh, oh,
That's-
oh, oh, oh.
Yeah, that's the
That's
bottom,
what's
that's the
left.
bottom line. That's the bottom
Yeah,
line for
so your
everything.
total that you're
Okay.
going to be put forth to make a motion on is 1,088,266.
Okay. Phew. So that was general admin.
Yep. If you took.
You guys gotta make a vote on the dollar amount.
Oh, we didn't,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta make a vote on that dollar
Oh,
amount.
on.
Not just on the
Yes, there's a
cut.
salary in.
Yep. So you have to make a vote on the 1,088,266.
Oh, that's what I thought we voted on.
Nope.
Okay.
No, you
You wanna
voted
make another
to
motion
cut
for
it.
I forgot that, never
Pardon?
mind. Well,
She said we need to
You
make
just-
a vote on the 1,000,000.
88,266.
88,266. You just,
the motion.
your motion was
Yes.
only, I'm trying to find out, only to reduce it by
Mhm.
1,088, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I mean, 101.
101,343.
Do you want to make a motion clarifying that it's 1,088,266?
Is that what?
Yes.
Is that what?
That's the
minus-
balance.
Is that
That's,
minus well like that?
that's the
Yes.
total of the two, of the
Correct.
salary and benefits.
Okay, you
Correct.
can make
And
the
that's it.
motion.
I just did.
Oh, who's gonna second it?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
you
Let's
want-
wait for Bill to come back.
So wait for Bill.
So this comes up then, and if it's voted, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
it comes up to selectmen at our joint meeting, or is it a separate?
No, this will come
No,
up
it'll
at
be
our
a joint meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
What,
Yeah.
all the things we don't agree on will come up for sure.
Yeah, that's why,
Sit
like,
and talk
I'm making
about-
a note to see what's gonna happen with, like, the position now with Parks and Rec in conjunction with what they're asking. I'm making little notes to ask stuff like that.
I mean, and there's a good chance that some of the questions can be answered by the select.
That
board.
happens,
Right.
yes,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
happened in the past.
yes.
I love a good meeting.
Where we've got another motion on the floor, which is basically the same motion, only the reverse of what the last one was. We are, where we have to come up with the bottom line number
Which is here.
instead of how much to take away.
1,088,266.
So there's a number now, and it's been made by Shannon, and seconded by Sue.
No,
Any further discussion?
Dave, that was not,
What?
did you guys make that motion?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Any further discussion?
I didn't add it up. I'm gonna trust your math.
She added it up.
And Ken did too.
I
so-
trust her, man.
I just wrote it down. You can't trust me. I cannot be trusted, Bill.
All in favor? All opposed? 4-2. All right.
All right, so then moving on, general admin, the trio.
What page?
Not the
you're
insurance
on
one.
Page 8,
Page 8.
sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the trio town cloud question. Finally have some answers. The assessing for town cloud won't be done till about August. And I said, oh, no. We're in the throes of tax commitment, throes of printing the tax bills. I'm okay with going on 1/1. So we're gonna purchase, if everybody agrees, purchase Trio for 6 months and then go live with Town Cloud on 1/1. They still have a savings of about 5,000.
Okay.
Where does this discussion come with the company that you're gonna hire does not want to work with Trio?
So they prefer to work with Trio.
Excuse me, not to work with Cloud, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, they prefer to work with Trio,
Yeah.
but that's not why we're putting it off. We're putting it off because to implement a new system, when we're in the throes of tax commitment and tax billing, is just crazy.
That's asking for it.
January 1st, it's slower around here in January. It will give people time to get used to the new system, and make things happen in a much
Plus, it'll give
calmer
the contractor
fashion.
Another 6 months.
But yes, they prefer Trio,
Yeah.
but if they have to work with Town Cloud, they're going to work with Town Cloud.
And Trio is cheaper annually than Town Cloud.
No, the other way
No,
around.
other way
Yeah,
around.
the new
Town
one.
Cloud-
Just flop right over.
We've locked into Town Cloud for 15,500 for 10 years.
That's really
And
good.
the-
Holy
but
moly.
the Trio stuff
Oh.
will just flop into the Town Cloud.
What we're
without a lot
going to
of
do an
effort.
upload. We're working on
In
that
chunks.
stuff. It's going to be an upload. We're going to move it all in.
Doesn't the assessor and everybody else use that too?
Yes,
So that's
that's
all gonna be, so the contractor's gonna do it in Trio, and then it just converts over.
converts over to Town Cloud
Will there
Yeah.
be a period of running the two of them in parallel?
simultaneously. There might be a period where we run it simultaneously as a test database, because that's
Mhm.
usually what I do.
Mhm.
We haven't gotten that far with it yet. I prefer to do that.
Would
But-
that increase the amount that you would need though to run them?
It might,
Commit To run it in
Yeah.
parallel?
if we run it, if they give us a test database, we run it for a month. I mean, that's usually sufficient in my experience with doing these implementations.
Mhm. So the
Does
bottom.
that make sense? It's not because they don't want to work in Town Cloud. It's because it doesn't make sense to implement in the middle of commitment and tax
Yeah,
billing.
Oh, that makes
It's
total
just, that's not the
sense,
time.
Yeah.
No.
I was not down for that at all.
There's not
So
enough,
that's
yeah.
the only change that I've made here. since the last time you guys saw it.
So the total would be
So do we need a motion for the final
163,544?
figure then?
Yeah,
Wait a minute,
is this the
um,
163,544 we're talking about?
Page 16.
Yep.
163,544.
That's what we-
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Elections, you've already approved. General admin insurance, you've approved. Contingency, you've approved. Animal welfare, you've approved. Health and Human Services, you've approved. Roads, starting on page 20. Actually, you're gonna wanna go to page 21. When you're all there. Okay, so you had approved the roads budget previously, but then when we put all of our numbers together, we sat down, Lindsay and I sat down and we talked about what can we cut. We reached out to Tom, we asked him for his opinion. We're gonna remove Rhode Island Ave and Desert Brook and put those on the next year budget. So that is a new total of,
183,500.
you're right ahead of me, 855,440,
And that reduced it by how much?
124,000.
Very nice. I make a motion for the 855,
There we go.
440.
I'll second
Any discussion? All in favor? Everybody?
That's a good savings, Jeanette.
And we went through and
That's really great.
did a few of them. Buildings and ground cares and maintenance, that's pages 22 to 34. You have previously approved this budget. I'm trying to find my notation here. Yep, I'm looking for the mowing contract, there it is, which
Yep.
is on page 27.
Yep.
So Lindsay sat down with the vendor and we're able to renegotiate the mowing contract and it's a savings of $9,699. That's the only thing that's changed in this budget.
Okay.
So your new total
Yeah, I know I'm getting there.
is on page 34. 828060.
I make a motion, 828-060.
Second it.
Discussion? All in favor? Oh, we have discussion?
No.
No, all in favor?
Okay. Transfer station, you've already approved. Parks and Rec, we tabled because of the $1,000 for the new director. And that, didn't write down my pages.
38.
38. And the amount that you had tabled it for is on page 39.
And did you get an opportunity to talk to Holly about the concession stand at Chadbourne? She had asked me if I saw that in the budget and I hadn't seen it.
So here's the thing, is we set forth a procedure. There are reasons that it didn't get into the budget. I'm not going into that. And
What do
We-
last thing? What are
we
talking
did
about?
talk, okay, so the concession stand, they want to do the concession stand and the dugout.
Over here?
Yes. So numbers came in, they came in late. I'm not going anywhere. So we did get the dugout numbers in there, but I didn't get the concession stand numbers in there. I did sit down and talk with Holly last Friday. She's good.
Okay.
I guess my question is, I thought our plan was to put all the major fields like that up at Buckeye, why are we putting more money into this?
So they
I
have,
guess that's not a question to you.
Yeah,
It's a rhetorical question.
I really don't know, because I don't even remember you saying,
Well, no.
I wasn't here when you guys made that decision.
No, oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just me, it's just strange that now we're gonna start throwing money into this field.
So,
So
question
we'll
for,
have an added field to worry about.
Concessions-
'Cause it
concessions
seems
just so that
like
they could open
with
it up on the
everything
other
that
side.
happened with the Little League,
League,
that somehow they could volunteer, get donation of
We had a
materials,
concession stand.
and do a dugout, and do a concession stand.
I think it has to do with the roof in the dugout.
Yeah, I know it's
It's leaking or
dilapidated, yeah.
something. And I'm not disagreeing with you. Right now, that's all on hold because of the parking.
Right.
Which parking's will pretty much lock up John Street.
Yeah.
So we have a plan in this building for overflow parking. So if we have a election overflowing to there, if there is a game or something going on, overflowing to here. So there is a plan we're working on for that.
Yeah, and like I said, I thought all the plan was to put it all up at Buckeye so that you didn't have any of that worry about any of that stuff. But
I'd like to make a motion on Parks and Recs. The amount we should look at is $10,350.
I'll second.
where is that?
That's on
Page
page
40.
40,
So you're reducing by 1,000.
reducing by $1,000.
Okay, so you, okay. Is there a
Who's
second?
second?
I did second.
Oh, okay. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Okay. Reserves computer, you guys have approved, compactor approved, town hall approved, property equalization, so,
Okay,
yeah, I'm getting there.
oh.
I'm reading my notes. Page 42. So the quote that we got is 115,000.
Oh, yeah, I saw that in there somewhere too.
I just saw ours here.
Yeah.
115,000.
Mhm.
So we had put away some money last year, 57,000. So the balance of that is going to be $57,400. Now, as I was talking about, we have the permit catch-up as well. So is this something you want to leave the permit catch-up in here? Or do you want to take it out?
I think permit, I don't think we should pay a guy $100 for a permit to do that. I think there's gotta be a better way. That's just my opinion.
Was it? I'm confused. Wasn't that moved into salaries?
It's
It's
in
in
both
salaries
places right
kind of
now
too.
to try and
It's kind of. in both
decide what we
places.
want to do.
So it's in both places.
It's kind of in both places.
Yeah.
So I think we should take it out of here. And
And it will be, also be, you already
I
took
think,
it,
I'm not gonna speak for the select board, but I listened to their meeting, and they didn't think it was a good idea to pay the contractor either.
you already took it out of salaries.
Right.
They moved it into
No, I'm
salaries.
talking about, you're talking about for the equalization, right?
The equalization is not in the salaries.
No, I understand
Okay.
that. Where's the
But-
25,000?
Hang on. That's to do the cost tables that we talked about to bring it up to market values. That needs to be done because we're gonna hit below our
That's the
70%.
115.
That's the
What's
115.
the, where's the
So
25?
can we talk, can we make a motion, I guess, on the
Oh, it's
57?
separate then.
Let's do it separately,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, if it's,
Yeah.
I thought it was together.
I'll make
Let's
a
Because you
do it
had-
motion-
separately.
I'll make a motion for the 115 for the table.
Yeah, I know.
No, it would be 57.
This is what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
57.
57.
But she
four.
has
That's
105 plus 57.
Well, 57, because we had money already set aside, so the remainder that we
Wait,
need to get
wait.
to here.
What's the total? 115,000 is what we need.
But we were
But
at
in your
9,600.
FY '26 budget, you need 57,400 because we already
Okay, where
have
is that?
some money.
It says 105.
No, no, right here.
Oh, that's this.
Yes.
Okay, what's
That's the
this?
remainder that we need. That's
totally different.
That's totally different. This is the.
Okay, this is what we're talking about.
Yes.
All right, okay.
That gets us to
You can
here.
discount, Michelle.
Every now and then it happens, Dave, watch
You
out
do it
for
a
a
lot.
roll.
Is there a motion?
Karen made the motion.
Hasn't been something.
So I'll second it for discussion because I'm trying to understand.
All right, discussion.
So if we take the 25 out of here, we also took it out of the potential in
We're not-
salaries. We're not
But
worrying
we're
about
not
that.
in the 25 yet. Let's
Yeah.
have that
Okay,
discussion.
so the first one for the
The
57,400.
first one for the 57,400 for
Mhm.
the equalization tables.
So do we vote on?
That's what we're on right now.
So that's what we vote on now for the 50.
Yeah, those are separate
That's
warrant
the
articles.
number.
And we have one company.
Okay.
We
with
had
one
one
bid.
out of 3 tries.
All right. So
Yeah, there's not a lot of those people around.
Yeah. all right. So all
Any
right.
more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Okay, so the 25,000 was to do the permit catch-up. When we had our meeting last Tuesday, we discussed in length about this being a one-shot deal. It doesn't fix anything for the future. Then we thought, okay, do the 25,000 this year and get some assistance for next year. They didn't want to do that. And that's when we came up with the full-time position to do CEO and assessment. So this 25,000, we need to catch up the permit somehow, some way. You removed it from the salaries. So it's up to you. That's,
Well, I don't
I'm
think
just,
we didn't remove that.
We didn't
from
remove
salary.
it.
Yes,
from
you
the
did.
salary.
No, we
No,
didn't.
we
That wasn't
removed an
mentioned in the
overall
removal.
figure of 93,000.
Yes. It,
right,
Yes.
right, but we
It-
will not
it
be able to
was,
do it
correct.
without that.
So the 25,000 being proposed here is kind of a Band-Aid. It gets us one and done, and we don't have someone trained in it once they're gone.
Yeah, and it really, is-
So-
and I can, and Jeanette can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's really not gonna be one and done because
Correct.
they bid on like 260. And
Correct.
by the time they start the work, it's probably gonna be 300.
Correct. Correct. So
Could
that
be.
was the point of having,
So, yeah, so something's gotta be done about it.
right. And it's, I
So
think,
that's
I
what
think
I'm
it's better
asking
to
you.
have
Yeah.
something.
That's what's in your lap right now.
I'm not in favor of paying 25 for a one and done. I'm not. I think it's a waste of money.
Correct. And I think the select board agrees because they sounded like they.
Yep.
Yeah,
I-
I'm not in
So
favor of
where is
25.
that 25,000? It's not even in here, right?
It's,
No,
It's
that's
right
fine, we're
here.
voting
I
on
can
it.
just remove
where it
it.
says B,
Oh,
where,
it's right.
yes.
Oh, this one, okay,
Yes.
yes.
Just
Can
don't
I-
even vote on it.
Somebody want to make a motion?
I
to
make a
remove that?
motion to remove the
I'll make a
25,000.
motion to remove the 25,000.
Everybody's fighting over it.
Wait a minute, we can talk doing it.
Okay, Michelle's done
Mhm.
some already. Bill, you want the second?
I'll second.
Okay,
All right. is there
At least
any
we're
more
having
discussion on
fun.
the 25,000.
No,
to 0.
All right, all in favor of removing the 25,000? Okay.
Okay, Bunyan Park.
Where's the?
You
what
wanted-
page is that on?
I'm getting there. It's on the
Oh, right,
same
oh, it's the
page.
same, yeah, okay.
So you wanted a plan. I sent several items over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In following the information that Dave sent, and then the email that came out this morning, I think it was Heather sent that one?
Holly?
Holly
Holly.
approved it, yeah.
They don't seem to be the same.
Right,
I mean, one of them has a project this way, and the other one has projects. It just didn't make sense to me that there were two different, I mean, we said we wanted a plan, okay? If they've got a plan, that's fine, but if they don't have a plan, they got a list of stuff they want, that's not a plan.
and I looked at it and
It's up to you
it
guys.
appears to me that the long-range plan is gonna be multi-$100,000 by the time they get through. Now, we can start off by putting a little bit here and a little bit there, but before you know it, we got 100,000 spent, and then we got another 100,000 spent. Now, we're gonna have to hire people to take care of it. We're gonna have a maintenance bill of so-and-so and such and such. I think we should have a plan established, and the town should vote on that plan before we start throwing dollars at Buckingham Park.
So
This might.
I agree, and that was the purpose of the committee, right?
everything-
You know, was to develop and give us a plan.
this,
What is the end state of Buckingham Park? You see, I thought that when we started moving things to Buckingham, I thought all that stuff was gonna go there. Now all of a sudden, we're gonna work on Chadbourne. Okay,
I don't think they were.
we
on
only have so
Chadbourne.
much tax money.
I'd like to make a motion. I don't know how to phrase this, but in lieu of a professional plan for the entire park, if the Bunganuck Committee can pull together figures for a short-term plan to get the things they want to get accomplished in the upcoming year.
I don't think we can.
That
make
was
it.
sent, that was
Yeah, you
sent
can
to
make
us.
That kind of motion.
See, that's not up to the budget committee.
5,
We can
10,
only
13,
approve or
20.
disapprove funds.
Weren't there numbers sent to us for a project?
But I
I've
mean, I'd be
sent
nice
over
if
I know,
a lot of
it'd
trying to-
be
that's
nice
why I'm
for
like
them
trying to find it.
understand where we're coming from. I just don't want the town to be on the hook again for multi-$1,000s in the future.
I just think that where we left it at our last meeting was that we required a professional plan. And in my opinion, I don't know that we really need a full-blown, full-part professional plan at this time. If they can come forward and say, these are the things that we want to accomplish because this is what the park needs.
Yeah, and
That's where I'm coming
with,
from.
with an end state. It shouldn't be, this is what we want to do this year, and then, oh, by the way, we'll come back next year and tell you what we want the next.
Well, ideally, they would get a full park plan at some.
Well, but that's the
money
issue.
too.
It's, I mean, a concept plan could be nothing more than somebody taking and with hand sketching, and,
find
okay, we want to upgrade this building, we want to put a new building over here, we want to do the beach over here, we want to do this, we want to do that. And that's really not that hard to do because you can almost take the tax map and draw things in on it. I mean, it's not that difficult. My concern is, I want to see what the end state's gonna look like, because the end state that I had in mind when we started building up there is not the end state that seems to be up there now. We're gonna be putting stuff over at Chatmore.
Right?
I don't know.
You know, and do we spend
Yes.
$30,000-$40,000 to have a professional park designer lay everything out? I
Well,
think that's a foolish waste
we
of money
can't-
when we had a committee who should have been able to take what Dave said, the
Yeah.
plans.
But you know why we can't do that? Because we don't even know what the end plan is there. What are
So,
we gonna do up there?
the-
Are all of our facilities gonna be up there? Are we gonna have a day camp up there? Are we gonna have fancy trails and we're gonna run them in the winter and the summer, and we're gonna have snowshoeing, and we're gonna have cross-country skiing?
So
And
raise
we're
my
gonna have a building up there that's gonna rent skis out, and we're gonna have somebody that's gonna run it all?
So
Is that the end state? I don't know.
I don't know.
my,
Yes, Michelle.
my
pay
understanding,
for
reading
this?
this email, that one of the ones we got that was forwarded to all of us is that there is a plan. They're working with DEP for the sand portion. And Kevin has all the drawings done, which goes with the phase plan that is done, that would eat up that $25,000 they're asking for. And that is one of the things that was on the survey the public wanted, was to have the beach area brought back. And they have the figures. I think it's a question to bring to the select board at the next meeting.
Yeah,
They
it's
do
gonna
have the
be-
figures, they do have the plan drawn out for that area. And they
They're
have
working
DEP
with the
processing.
DEP, and it's gonna be very interesting to see what the.
They already got
DEP has.
approval to bring the sand in.
They have approval to fill in there?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is. I know. I was like, whoa. So, I mean, I think it's another question to write down, but they have permission from the DEP to bring sand in, and they've been told what to do. And there is a plan drawn out. And it's right in the email. Kevin has the whole thing sketched out. So, and that's
Well,
an
where's the-
easy.
I mean,
We can ask for it.
That wasn't presented to us.
Well, we can ask for it, so we'll have it for the joint meeting. I'll put that down too.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said,
I'm just going by what we were saying.
Heading off in a direction and not where I'm going. Don't
No,
get me
I think
wrong.
that the 25 would do that project, and that was something the townspeople asked for, you know, and then maybe we can ask for more information. But I think, and I mean, there's still things, the changing station is scary. I mean, the ramp is rotted. It's a matter of time for someone, and there's nails sticking outside the door outward. It's, you know, there's thinking how much the shed cost for the booth. That was like $4,000 or $5,000.
It was like 49.
Yeah, so to
wanna
create
say.
this, replace the shed with a ramp for changing, what's that gonna cost? That's,
Well, like I say,
you know, and that's
Where are
a
we heading?
hazard.
what is it gonna cost? And then the townspeople should say, okay, we're willing to spend $250,000 to make Buckingham Park
Yeah.
a place where, a destination location.
If they were gonna ask for
Oh, by
that kind
the
of
way,
money,
80% of the people that go there are gonna be from out of town, but we're gonna put the,
but that's where you're gonna get the revenue.
good luck on the road.
I'd
Well,
like to
if
make a
if it's
motion.
$20 a car and they can rent out the Pines and potentially the chapel,
We can
there
rent
is
signs out
revenue.
now.
I'd like to make a motion
Yes,
that we table this until we get more plan information.
okay. And is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
No, I don't want to do that.
And that would be
That's
at your joint
We'll vote.
meeting.
Yep,
Yeah. it was
Sounds good.
Now,
Yeah,
that's
thank
good.
you.
Okay, what else?
Okay, the fire hydrants. I spoke to Matt. The
Is
one
that-
on Clark's Woods Road is broken. So he's pretty much gonna spend all of that money on the 4,000 that we usually put in, plus the 2,000 that we have left there. So he asked that we put in 6,000. So if there's an issue with another one, he has a little bit of a $2,000 reserve.
I'll make that a motion.
I already did that.
No,
I'll second.
we held off on that one.
I'll second the motion.
I think we approved the 4,000.
It's done.
Scott, I think we approved.
They,
four.
they asked me to go
You
back
want
and talk to
2,000
him.
More, he wants 2,000 more.
All right, who
Is there a
made that
second?
motion?
Ken
I
made
made
the
the
motion, I
motion.
seconded.
Second,
Michelle.
Michelle seconded.
Michelle second.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay, Charter Commission, you guys already approved. The Cousins Bridge, the Day Road. So when we were looking at cuts and how we could do things better, we switched it from a 3-year plan to a 5-year plan. The DOT has been out there. They've been out there since 2016, giving us reports and things like that. They said 3 to 5 years. We could work that in there. So if we go to a 5-year plan, we're going to have an additional 2 years of LRAP that we can throw at that bridge. And we should be able to get some cost in actual cost towards the end of this year. They're almost done with
What
the
page is that
design.
on?
Do we have any way,
Same page.
Oh, it is, sorry. I flipped.
we don't do this board, but do we have?
Oh, there
any
it
way
is.
of Forcing the 10,000 pounds on that road? There's
We,
signs on either end
so-
of it,
I know for a fact that you can't enforce speed limits because speed limits are a DOT thing and there's a book like this thick that, and you have to be
but I
all,
believe the
all
DOT put the
approved.
sign up there.
Did they put the 10,000?
No, I think more, but I don't know how you would enforce it.
Yeah, I don't know how you did,
True story, true story.
unless you could get DOT to go down there.
Because the longer. the
Dave,
less
just
weight
double
you
dog
go,
dare
the
him.
longer you're gonna be able to have that bridge without. a
Oh, I
problem.
agree.
Yeah.
I think most of the large trucks
No, you watch.
know about it and
You
they,
you watch 'em, right? Yeah,
No.
you watch them.
well, I don't know how you enforce it. I guess you tell the state police to, or the sheriff.
Well,
Go
we're,
up a
yeah, we're
camera.
sheriffs now.
You know?
I don't think the state police could do it because it would be a weight thing and I don't think they weigh.
That's.
Oh, yes,
I
they
think-
do.
Do they?
Well,
Do
yes,
they?
do.
Nice.
Tell me about it.
Nice.
10,000 pounds, trust me, it don't take much to get to 10,000.
And they have portable
Oh.
scales.
Don't I know it? I lived in a 80,000 pound truck for
There
a
you go.
year, okay?
10,000
So-
pounds is, I mean, it's not even a
It's a
small
drop in the
dump truck.
bucket.
My pickup.
Yeah, when you put a load on it, you're in. So I don't know, it's a good
I
question.
don't, it's not, we can't do it.
It's a hell of a question, and
But if you could enforce it, that would be guaranteed that it goes for that.
It goes a little longer.
So it falls in.
So,
So what do you want to do about
so
the
it's 25,000 per year for 5 years, is that, am I
25,000
understanding?
per year for 5 years.
I make a motion for 25,000.
I'll second it.
any more discussion? All in favor?
Outsourced general admin, so they came to an agreement with the Y, and it's at $10,000.
Are they gonna be paying for field rental?
No, because the board didn't have field rental and for nonprofits. So that's at 136.6, page 45.
Make a motion, 136.6.
Second?
Who was that?
Karen,
Okay.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, Jeanette, I have a question. In 181, outsourced general admin, 17 planning, 33,310, Southern Maine planning for ORC.
Yep.
Originally, there was 23,000 in there, and now it's
So-
saying 7,500.
As one of our cuts, that was one of our cuts because the comprehensive plan is gonna be finalized somewhere, I hope, towards the end of next year. And the ORC is not gonna use all of that $23,000 in that year. So when we were looking at the timeline, we said, okay, we can cut that down because they're gonna have what, 4 or 5 months that they can use Southern Maine planning. So we cut that down because the entire project was 23,000. Make sense?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah, I just saw it as a change, so I wanted to
Yeah,
make sure
no,
that I
that's
was
why
right.
it's changed.
And then 33,320, was that zero last time we looked at it, now it's 5,000?
Yes, it was. Somebody pointed out that I had missed it, one of the selectmen. And so I went back through the bills and that's about what they're spending per year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So outsourced other, you have previously approved. GMFR, so your joint meeting with GMFR is April 3rd at 6 PM at the fire station.
That's not the select.
No, that's
When
the
is
Okay.
select board?
GMFR.
So
That was confusing.
So
Yeah,
that's
so I'm
at 3
getting to the
o'clock?
end of my thing.
It's either the 3rd or the 7th.
So see, the 3rd or the 10th is the meeting the 3rd?
So the joint meeting with the select board, last I knew, is gonna be
Okay.
April 7th at 3 o'clock.
Oh, now
Okay,
it's
so
the
now it's the
7th?
7th, okay. Because I got it, I think we all got
I
an
had
email that
3
said
and
the 3rd.
10.
Yeah, there was a
And
bunch
now
of
there's
things
the
going on.
7th?
The 7th.
That's what I have,
And
So
it's gonna
April
be
7th.
still at 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
3
Can
o'clock?
anybody make 3 o'clock?
I can't,
You can't?
no.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of, and probably Bill can't, because some people work.
7th.
We're trying to get it
Oh,
done.
wait, on the joint during the day, you mean the 7th?
Mhm.
Yes, no, I blocked off for that. I put in for that. I can do 3 on that day. I can't, if it's 3 for Goodwin Mills, I
Anybody else have
can't.
an issue
At 3
with the
o'clock?
7th?
What day of the week is that?
It's a Monday.
Monday.
I can do 3 o'clock on the
Is
7th.
it a Monday?
Yeah.
Monday at 3 o'clock.
Wait a minute, April what?
April
April
7th.
7th.
Monday.
It's
3 o'clock.
next Monday.
Yeah, when I saw the email come out, I looked, I'm not assigned anything. I can,
Yeah, I'll lock the gun
Oh, no,
shop.
I gotta do my.
Okay, so it looks like we can all make it?
Yep.
Okay, it's April 7th, 3
Getting
o'clock.
filled quick.
April 7th at 3 o'clock.
And April 3rd is.
the Goodwin Mills fire.
April
And-
3rd is,
And where
still
is-
is the Goodwin's Mills Fire.
And it's at the fire
At the
station.
fire station, correct. You guys want me to say it again?
Yes.
GMFR, joint meeting with Dayton Select Board and Dayton Budget Committee, Lyman Select Board, and you guys, April 3rd at 6 PM at the fire station. Lyman Budget Committee, Lyman Select Board, joint meeting, April 7th at 3 PM. And other CIP you guys have already approved, so that's the end of
That's
it.
it.
Thank you, Jeanette, you did a wonderful job.
What are
Here.
you?
Me picking on you.
Whoops.
Look at that.
I have a question.
Yes.
A request. At one of these meetings, are we gonna have a final figure for a percentage of what an increase is from previous year?
I handed it out to you. I handed it out to you
But that's
tonight.
not, that's only, that doesn't have the salaries, and all that sort of stuff not in there, right?
Yes, they are.
Where is it? What's the number?
It was sitting on your desk as you walked
Yeah,
in.
It's this one.
It's
Is there a
10%,
percentage?
so it's 10%, but that's
10%.
without what we did tonight.
Now that includes, does it include some kind of an estimate for the fire department?
No, the fire
This
department,
is just strictly,
that's strictly town.
okay,
That's for the town.
Fire department,
yeah, they're going up.
it's blue and white.
They want
Okay.
The reason I'm asking the question is because the other night at Selectmen's meeting, it was said that before we made the changes to the road and et cetera, that we were at 14%, and with the changes, we were gonna be 6%. But this is-
No, I didn't say 6.
Yeah, I didn't think.
I said
8%.
8%.
Yeah.
I never said 6. If we got to 6 in this day and age, I would be jumping
You
up
get
and
the
down,
6
Ken.
All right,
At 8%
They,
is
they
what I
approved the
thought
entire
I
budget
had
as is.
at. Yep,
but now we're back up to 10%.
right, because
Yeah.
that 25,000 for the, I didn't know what to do with the 25,000 for the, back. Yeah, that's why it went up to 10%. Oh, no, if I got to 6, I'd be so happy.
What did we increase last year?
I don't remember,
Do you want me
to
to-
tell you the
Do
truth.
you want
I
to,
mean, I know the number, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the percent was.
I don't remember the
Dave,
percentage
do
off
you
the
want a
top of my
motion?
head.
or
Oh, go ahead.
I make a motion
Wait,
to,
wait.
to adjourn?
Anybody else want to say?
Are we done? Oh, no, I thought,
Wait.
wait, are we done?
Second.
No,
No, I just want-
If you want to be.
Oh, no,
Oh,
were
you
we
did.
still,
There
was there,
was a question on the floor.
oh, I thought we were, it was different than this. My apologies.
Because somebody asked me about the fire department.
Oh, the fire department? Oh, I thought we were waiting to, meeting with them.
Well, right now, their proposal
Yeah,
is
tremendous.
22% increase.
Yeah.
Is that with or without the,
Look at,
Huh?
is that with the addition of people or without?
Yes, with the addition.
With
the whole,
With
the whole
addition.
enchilada.
Okay, so I answered the question.
Okay. Oh, I thought we were done. Sorry.
That's-
I thought that was,
wasn't
I thought that was for
fast
next.
enough, I just wasn't fast enough. Is there any-
From one class of position.
There's a motion made and seconded to adjourn.
Yep.
All in favor?
Okay.
Yeah, that was amazing.
something about it, it's just, you get way too much for it.
I was, sticker shock at that.